I was like halfway up. And I was like,
would.
should I have said I love you? She goes,
I mean, bro, that is a tough spot to put a kid in. It's another edition of KFC Radio on the Barstool Sports Network. Your boy is coming down from a high right now. My great white buffalo, the white whale, Mike Francesa was on Barstool Radio. Someone that I've met before and like interacted with, but never, still to this day, never had like the sit down radio podcasting conversation moment. And so it finally happened. Cat's out of the bag that his son is our intern or our contributor. We're not sure what we're allowed to say. We got a call earlier in the summer. Mike called Dave. Dave called me and was like, "Do you think we could do something with Mike's son as an intern?" And I said, "Yeah, definitely." And then it was like, "Oh, he's a little bit young," and I was like, "Oh, okay, because he's still in high school." Yeah, and I thought it was like he was graduating this year. He's 16. He's 16. So I was like, "That's cool with me as long as it's cool with them and OSHA and the government and like our show isn't exactly." I planned on my original plan was I was going to let him be an intern. I was like, we're going to give him intern work, and not that being Mike Francesa's son makes you like the fucking, he's not going to steal the mic and be the host, but there's enough people who know him, and I felt like if that fact got out, he would be feeling himself a little bit. So I was like, we'll go like all summer, and then in the end, with a couple weeks left, we'll talk about it, and he can come on the show and all that. And I was like, oh, never mind. I don't think we can do this. I don't think we can do our subject matter with a 16-year-old in the room. But anyway, so Harrison was cool enough to set it up. Mike comes through. He does Pick Central. He hopped on the radio, on Barstool Radio, met Frank the Tank. He did Answer the Internet. That'll be coming out. My Answer the Internet featuring Mike Francesa is like mind-boggling. I mean, I've been waiting for that moment for 30 years.
Did they live up to it?
Oh yeah, I mean, like it absolute, like in every way. There was not one point where I was like, oh man, like that was, I wish that went different, or like he is just a very charming dude.
I was gonna say, as a not anti, but as a guy who didn't grow up on Francesa, I was sitting there like, I get it.
Yeah,
I get it.
Very good at like he talks and controls the conversation, but like includes you or knows when to pivot and knows when to laugh and knows when to give you a little something. Like
I did, my first question got collared, and I was like, all right, I understand it now.
What do you mean? Like
where I was like, I it was a stupid question. It was a dumb question to ask somebody of Mike's. When I was like, when I was talking about like the blogs, and I was like, could you just like say it? And
I thought that was kind of interesting. Though.
And he went, no. And kept moving. And I was like, I'm going to shut up.
The question was basically like, could you podcast or do radio if you didn't have an audience? But because someone like you said, like I could write my blog, and if I got my thoughts off, that's all that matters. Mike needs the audience.
Yeah,
like, yeah. I mean, dude, like
it was like that was like he's going, no. I was like, all right, yeah, you fucking idiot, dude. Why would you ask that? And that's all my head was for the next hour. You stupid motherfucker.
And then you asked him if he would eat aliens. That was great. I needed that though, because like
that was what I found. I was like, all right, I'm gonna take another shot.
No, I like
you eat an alien, Mike?
You know what? He didn't really answer it, did he? No.
I knew going in.
Yeah.
It was confirmed question 1, reconfirmed question 2. I was like, Francesa's not going to really get you. Like,
you know what? You're right too, though. Like, because we did it a little bit, but like asking things that Mike doesn't know about. Like I was like nervous to do it almost, you know what I mean? Because he'd be like, "What are you, an idiot? I don't like this stuff," But that's what's funny. That's why I need that's why it was a good balance of people for you to be like, because if I'm going to take my time with him to ask like questions about behind the scenes of New York sports radio and shit, and you need someone to jump in and be like, "You eating an alien? So would you eat an extraterrestrial?" When he was just like, "I've never seen a UFO. If I did, wouldn't change my life." It's like, so Mike. And then when he said, "I've never seen a science fiction movie," Go check the tape. It was the most genuine, like, I couldn't believe it reaction from me. I was like, get the fuck out! You've never once, not one movie, not a Star Wars, not a fucking Interstellar, Independence Day, nothing. Crazy. He's the best.
I agreed wholeheartedly. I got lost in the sports talk. It was a lot of New York like stuff that I didn't really know anything. Yeah. So I was kind of just like, I wasn't zoned out, but I was just listening and not having the conversation because it wasn't a conversation that really involved me. And then when that stuff came up, everything Mike said, I was like, yup. Yeah. Yup. Yeah. Yup. And then
you were dapping
at the end, I was like, all right, I'm a 70-year-old man.
Bro, when he said, when he was talking about movies, he goes, I like boy loves girl, boy loses girl, boy gets girl back. And good beats evil. That's what I like. And John was like, yep.
Those are the two genres. Those are the only two genres I care about.
That's it. That was the one. And then, so how about this for a completely psychotic response? I didn't want to be lame and weird and be like, hey, Mike, can I make a video for you? Can you make a video for my mom? But my mom is like a diehard sports radio junkie, and so Mike is like, turn the camera around. I'll make a video. And he's, hi, Mrs. Clancy. Makes his video. Send it to my mom, thinking she's going to be like over the moon. She writes, cool. In the video, Mike said, Mrs. Clancy, the Mets, they stink right now. But, hey, give it 3 or 4 more years. Maybe you'll win a couple games. Like, ribbing her a little bit. My mom writes, cool. 3 or 4 more years, I won't know my name. What? Okay, Ma. Like, hey, Ma, check out this video of Mike Francesa. Dementia setting in, and I am soon to have Alzheimer's. But thanks for your little fucking video. What is wrong with you, woman? Just a wow. How about just a wow? Cool. Thanks. In 3 or 4 more years, I won't know my own name. Okay,
I am dying, son, just so you know. All right.
How fucking weird is that? Psycho, man. She like the ultimate. That's some Debbie Downer jam. Womp womp womp. Yeah, no, it lived up to the hype, and then of course the meeting of the minds of Francesa and Frank the Tank.
Francesa talking to Frank. It literally was like a guy, because I was on the other side of Frank, and I could see directly into Francesa's eyes, and like they were like lit up. Like he was like, I'm talking to an alien right now. Like he's like, I thought a UFO wouldn't change my life. It turns out meeting them is pretty important. Where he was kind of like giddy. Yeah. He was like,
he was peppering him with questions.
Yeah, he's kind of hitting him. He's like, so who's your favorite player?
Yeah. But he knows how to make a guy and a gal feel special.
Yeah.
Just the greatest head of hair too, man. Oh. I would love to have that when I'm older. Like
I almost said
Silver
it.
Fox, perfect hairline.
I'm glad I got in there with my first question, because I was like, all right, we got the temperature, John. Sit this one out, because I was getting at some point I was gonna go. By the way, Mike, you're a hot dude. By the way,
I would have given anything for you to say that.
By the way, Mike, really fucking hot.
Hey, Mike, I'd fuck you, dude. You want me to suck that dick, Mike?
the quick no was like, all right, we're gonna sit back.
Well, he is a very he even says as much in the interview, like, I don't do sex talk, I don't curse a lot, all that stuff. So it's like, I think he pseudo knows who I am and like pseudo respects me because I'm part of Barstool. But like if he listened to one of our episodes, he'd probably be like, "This is garbage.
Yeah.
This is like ruining humanity." You know what I mean? So it's a very strange thing to be like Harrison's been working on Answer the Internet, and I think he goes home and he's like, Mike was like, yeah, Harrison's trying to tell me about it. I don't really understand it. I'm like, let's keep it.
Yeah.
I'm going through the questions trying to find some good sports ones. Like, would you suck your own dick? Would you fuck your mother? I'm like, oh, my God, this guy, he's going to hate us.
When I almost said it to start, and I was like, let's see first. Like when I was shaking his hand, I was almost going to go, oof, pretty hot.
Well, I don't know if you said he's hot, but if you mentioned
I was going to use the word hot. It was going to be a good look. I thought about it. If you're going to do it, go all the way. Call him hot as fuck.
He is not from that era at all. But if you gave him a compliment on his hair, he would have been like, oh. I mean, there were times where he's been on the air, like, people wanted to put a hat on or a headband, and he's like, I can't, my hair. I'm not going to mess up my hair. I'm having a good hair day. But, yeah, just an all-time moment, legend, and totally lived up to the hype. So if you're from New York or you've been following along with me, you know that Francesa has been that's a real bucket list. That a lot of times we check off a bucket list before I even knew it was a bucket list, you know?
Yeah.
That was one that I was like, I need to have this happen. And I knew eventually it would, but I also didn't want it to happen too late where it's like, you know, there's still about a million questions I could ask him about the ins and outs and the behind the scenes of radio and shit. But I still want to know what Mike's like after, you know, a couple drinks and he's had a cigar and he's hanging with the boys and, like, you know, no women or children are around, no mics are on, and he just gives you the real deal. But you know, other than that, just totally. And what a 1,000-watt smile. Those teeth, man. The white teeth, the white hair. He's hot. He's hot. He's hot. What do I say? He's a hot old guy.
Hot dude, man. Yeah, fuck yeah.
You're fresh off of. I teased it last episode. Did I tell you about how did I show you the haunted puddle?
Yes.
Spill
yes,
puddle. Okay,
yes.
we talked a little bit about that, and then in that same episode, I teased you just even trying to get to the house to do Barstool Outdoors. How you almost got shot by a bunch of Cajuns at 3 a.m. because you were banging on doors.
I'm not just walking into a house in the sticks of Louisiana and just going to bed in the room on the left. That's fucking insane.
And then how you just didn't have a place to sleep. What ended up happening? Like, I mean, I'm sure there's so many things, but did you just sleep, like, on the floor?
No, I slept on. Jackie edited a video that we put out on KFC Radio. You can see my bed behind me. It is a wicker couch.
It's not a bed at all.
It is. We got into whatever you said. We get to New Orleans at 1 a.m. Right? Our flights got delayed.
Just every detail I got, I was like, this is the anti-KFC trip.
Yeah.
Like what you were doing, the travel involved, how you got there, where you were staying, where you slept, everything was. I was like, I would have gone home for that. I would have gone home for that. I would have gone home for that. I would have gone home for that.
Well, to put it all to start at the very beginning, it was like a year ago. Sydney was like, "Would you do Barstool Outdoors?" And I was like, "Of course." And at the time, she had pitched Yellowstone or something like that. She was like, "Would Jackie come?" Which I think I was like, Kevin would not. But yeah, I'm game.
I'm going to Yellowstone. We're going to Yellowstone. I don't want to do work at Yellowstone. I want to go to Yellowstone and not film like anything.
No, you can't have that. You have to do the Louisiana thing. Like I want to see you there so bad.
Bro. There is no chance of doing what you guys did.
You need to.
So,
I know why you want me to do it, and that's why I'm not going to do it. Like, no way.
like a year ago, she was like, "Do you want to do this?" And I was like, "Yes, of course." She said, "Would Kevin do it?" I said, "Probably not." She said, "Would Jackie then?" I said, "I think Jackie would probably be down." And then we didn't talk about it for about a year. And then 2 weeks ago, I got a text like, "Are you and Jackie still in for Barstool Outdoors?"
Dude, that was insane because it like kind of like threw a wrench into a bunch of things, really. Right?
Oh, we had like 5 interviews scheduled.
Yeah, we had interviews, and then the Barstool Radio popped up, and John was so well within his social rights to be like, we have not talked about this in 9 months.
It was like a stuff island where like they texted you like right before.
Yeah.
But it was
she was like surprised. She's like, "What are you talking about?" Of course we're still doing it. I was like, "Wait, what are we talking?"
It was like a text in like February, and then the next text was like August, being like, "Are you coming next week?"
Which
what? We haven't
only
talked about this in 6 months.
Was it, "Are you coming next week?" It was, "Here's the flight you should get," with a screenshot of a flight. Which I was like, well, I'm not going to buy a flight. That's crazy. Second of all, it was from Chicago. So it was Chicago to New Orleans. I was like, you don't even know where I live. Like, I envy Sydney Wells being so disconnected from Barstool. She's like that's almost all Barstool has talked about for 2 years is where people live and where they're going to be living. and she's like, "Yeah, you want to fly out of O'Hare?" Like, no. But so Jackie and I get flights, and
you were down, like, you like this stuff, or you were like,
yeah,
okay.
I mean, like well, I'm just like I was kind of like curious about it.
Which is my take. Like
you guys are two birds of a feather.
I think I've said before. Like, I don't think I've ever said no to someone asking me to be on a show. I will do I like doing things.
Yeah.
So like if you're like,
That's also how he gets raped. So we're just like, okay, I guess so.
I'm never
I will
going
do the sex.
Yeah.
Do the fishing trip, and I will do the sex.
I'm unconscious, but I knew I'm never going to plan a fishing trip in like the swamp in Mississippi River. So if someone asks me, "You want to go do it?" Yeah, fuck yeah. So we go. Flights get delayed right away. We're
Naturally.
hour late, and like it was because radio got added. So we had originally had 4:00 flights. I was like, but I want to do radio, so we moved those back. And then Sydney was like, "I'll pick you up at 7." I was like, "We're not even leaving until 9." So we get rental cars, land at 1 a.m., get in rental cars, drive to. There is actually very funny.
Well, did you say what rental car we got?
Oh yeah, dude. So
Did you guys do something cool?
Dude. What?
Yeah, I forget what was it.
I don't know. It looked fucking sick. I'll pop a picture.
That was fucking insane. That was so genuine. How are we on a podcast? How does this show succeed? You forgetting to even bring up the topic, and then she reminds you and doesn't even know what the topic is, though. It's just unbelievable.
It was fucking sick,
Did
bro.
you bring up the car? No, let's do it. What was it? I don't know. Hilarious.
It was fucking. It's like a Impala or like.
It was like a Dodge.
It was it was
something gray, something cool.
It was
Like-
fucking.
Impala?
It was I don't know. It was like fucking.
a dude I used to go to high school when I was in high school.
Might have been a Charger.
Ooh.
Yeah, dude. It looks like
It's like a Charger. Or
it looks like
Challenger or
Dom
whatever.
Toretto's
Yeah.
car.
Something
It
that
was-
sticks out like in the sticks of Louisiana.
Yeah,
That,
And-
I can't
bro.
speak
When
to
I
that,
called
but
you
it
next
probably is.
morning,
it's either a Charger or Challenger.
I was driving 100 miles an hour.
Oh,
Because
let's
it
go.
was it's just I was going to get Zin, and it was just like I'm in the swamps, there's no one around, and I was like hurrying up to get Zin because we had to meet the boat, and it's just like the route was straight and then turn right and go on kind of an angle, and I was just like and then I got out, got my Zins. It was fun.
Dude, yeah, I mean, I get that.
When I actually got to the stop, I did not stop early enough because I was going 100 miles an hour.
Yeah.
That the car kind of did like one of those little wiggles. And you remember that street that like that?
Yep.
It was, if it did a little bigger wiggle, your boy was going in the water.
I had a Ford Mustang. I think my dad went through a midlife crisis, and my mom allowed him to buy a Mustang. I don't know how we got this, because like my mom just would never agree to that kind of
Yeah.
shit. So for like, it was only like 2 years we had it. It was a bright, like cherry red Ford Mustang. And I'm not really like, I'm more like a comfortable, if you have like a luxury car, I get that. I don't really care about the muscle car thing.
Yeah.
But I got behind I mean, just tapping the pedal. And I was like, oh, fuck yeah, let's go.
But we were getting the car, and the woman was like, I think she had a dog. She was talking to someone under
distracted by
the
something
desk. And
She was distracted by something
yeah.
below
I
her.
think it was a dog. She's talking to someone. What?
She just kept looking under the desk, and she's like, I'm dealing with him right now. 1 second. I was like, who's down there?
Like there's just a person sitting or something?
It was weird, man. It was 1 o'clock in the morning in New Orleans. And she's like, she had a very New Orleans type accent. Like, neither I nor Jackie really understood what she said the whole time. And so we were
I would
walking,
imagine that would be the whole region.
Yeah, we were walking towards the parking lot, and I was like, what'd she say? And she's like, I don't know. And she was like, she'd said something about premium cars or premier cars, and then other cars, and then she mentioned a Camaro. Or whatever the car was.
Yeah.
I think it was a Camaro. I think we got a Camaro.
Yeah, I think it was Camaro.
And I was
Send me the
like,
video, I wanna see it.
I was like, oh, so we can take the Camaro? And she's like, you can do whatever you want. And I was like, all right, I think we can take the Camaro. And it was.
No, but she said like you do whatever you want, but that's not what I said. Like, no, you can't.
And then we got there and we just took it.
And we were
Truly
like-
the blind leading the blind here.
Yeah, I was like, but you did say you could do whatever you want.
Yeah, so we just took it.
You guys stole a car.
Yeah, that's
so
what
we
we
stole a
said.
Camaro.
Yeah. Like I was like, the keys are in it. Let's just take it. So we just took it. I don't know. Like we brought it back. They have it again. But no one, I don't even know who. I don't know how we get cars. Like I didn't give her my phone number or anything. I just showed up. I was like, hey, I want a car. And she's like, there's a Camaro in the parking lot. You can't take it. And I was like, all right, I'm gonna
See
take
you
it. She's
later.
like, do what you want. That's basically how we ended ended up with the Camaro. But so we're like, it's 1 a.m. It's a 2-hour drive. So like, Mincy had texted me when he got there. He's like, I got here. It's hard to find. And I was like, usually that's followed up with
how to
details.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, cool. And then Sydney was like, we're going to bed. Take the bedroom on the left. And I was like, okay, cool. Oh, no, she said, we're going to bed. Tell Jackie.
What you told me was, tell Jackie I'm in the bedroom on the left for her. You can sleep
She's
wherever.
like, you can sleep wherever or do whatever you want. And I was like, okay. And so we get there, and it's a marina. So it was like we had like 2 addresses, and one is the marina, one's the house. The GPS does not register the other one, so we just go to the marina. Mm-hmm. And we're told the whole time we're sleeping on a houseboat. Right. Like, you're sleeping on a houseboat. I've said that. Me and Mince are going to be dueling pianos. No one's going to sleep. Blah, 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 blah. And we get to the marina, and, like, this guy comes out, and, like, we're looking for this address. He's like, I never even heard of that street. And I was like, boy.
We are not even.
This is going to be tough.
Yeah.
Put the address into the GPS. Bro, if I'm sitting in the shack that the marina guy, the security guard is in, the fucking street is that door. Like,
never heard.
Like, it couldn't have been.
Never heard.
It couldn't possibly have been closer. But I'm like, okay, so we go and park, and this is when we're looking for Mincy's car.
Yeah.
Where I asked Jackie to pull up the video.
Yeah, you guys were looking at the fucking Mincy video like the Zapruder film, trying to find the logo on the steering wheel.
Jack actually zoomed in. I was like, that's a Toyota.
Yeah.
So leave a Toyota, find a Toyota, but we're not positive that it's the house.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of houses.
We also, but like more detective work, and this is mostly, he looked in and saw LaCroix, thought he's sober, like he must be drinking LaCroix if he wants a little something. And then we're like, that has to be Mincy's car, and we looked in the other one, and it was a rental car.
Yeah.
For 2 dumb people, that was a pretty smart moment.
So you found the LaCroix in the car?
Yeah.
And you were like, he was drinking LaCroix in the video?
Just like
or
sober
just that,
people,
like, just like yeah,
the seltzer water.
It was a little bit of a stretch, but like
that one. But that combined, that being his car.
Are you guys fucking serious?
I think, dude,
that we're going with one of the most popular drinks in the world. It must belong to the sober guy.
That makes sense, but all of my friends who are sober exclusively drink LaCroix. Like, just drink it nonstop.
Okay. All right. Maybe.
You know what? It was his car, so I don't.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's a lot of attitude for somebody who's like, 2 people are right.
But so they're parked in front of this house, and we're like, this guy, like, I was like very much like, I don't want to go into. People get shot.
Yeah.
People get shot.
Yeah.
Everywhere.
You're banging on doors in the middle of the night in the swamps.
Yeah, and like I was like, all we have as a Texas is take the bedroom on the left. I'm not gonna walk into a house and just like go like there's a video out. As I said in the video, like the only because it's an Airbnb, there's no one's pictures around. Like
right.
The only way to confirm we're in the right house is to walk into a bedroom and hope Ben Mintz is sleeping. That's the only way to confirm that like we were going into the right home.
There's only a few scenarios where you walk into a bedroom and you hope that Mincy is in the bed.
And I
this
said
is one of them
as well that like usually when you're doing like everyone's had like mishaps with Airbnbs. I actually think it's like a very. At first I was like I don't know if people are gonna get how it's so confusing because the Airbnb email is confusing and then like but also like. I don't have people I'm comfortable calling there. Like, I don't really know either of those people.
Right.
I don't know Mince that well. I met Sydney a time or two.
Times, yeah.
I liked them both, but, like, neither of us are, like, friends.
Right.
We don't talk. And so, like, it's not someone I'm comfortable calling. It was one of my friends. I'd be like, yo, wake up. Where the fuck am I?
Yeah.
And I felt weird about that. So I was like, I'm not going to just walk in the house unless I know they're in there, but I don't know how to know for sure they're in there. Jackie's just like, I'll go.
Like, I was tired. And I was like, we get shot. Best case scenario, we get a good night's sleep right now.
Pros, I get to sleep. Cons, raped by a Cajun. We'll figure it out.
Dude, it was.
I'm that tired.
But then, so we're in front of the door. We're in front of this door. And, like, not pushing it hard, but, like, twisting the doorknob and kind of giving it, like, I was like, maybe it's a stuck door.
Yeah.
And.
Or a locked door.
But sometimes a door's hard to open at an Airbnb.
Sure.
And mind you, by the way, the whole time, this is not a houseboat. This is just a house.
Yeah.
And we decided to look up the, again, good detective work. I think this one was your idea. The
damn
code-filled lockbox.
Yeah.
And
you tried to explain this to me. So what you looked up, like, the email?
The email had, like, the code-filled lockbox on it. And then there's a lockbox by a door that's at that exact code. And we're like, this has got to be the house. And so Jackie's trying to open it, and we're trying to push the door, and we're taking turns because neither of us can get it, despite it being on the exact number.
Yeah.
And then for some reason, when I'm looking at the email, I see the word Supreme Reef or whatever. And then I look at the door, and it's not in the kind of sense on the door that you would read it. Like, I didn't read it until we'd been there for like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
That the sign on the door.
Oh,
Like,
I didn't read that either.
It was like we kind of just been like switching off, trying to break into this house.
It was
really.
like 10 minutes, and we were like, both the door
10
and the
minutes?
lock must be stuck. And we like, that was not our smartest decision. The rest of it.
And we finally are like, I finally look at the email again, and I was like, oh, it says we're staying in Supreme Reef. And I had saw the door, and the door said Rig Runner. And I was like, so what had happened here was that Mincy also made the same mistake as us and just left it on 2025, and it's not actually the house. So we get upstairs, get in, and then I'm like started doing the math of people in my head. I was like, wait, so Sydney and Jackie are in that room. Mincy's here. I knew it was a 4-bedroom house.
Yeah.
John Kelly's here. Mikey's here. I was like, that's 4 bedrooms.
That's it.
That's all the bedrooms.
That's all.
There are no other bedrooms. And so I was like
Like she said, do whatever.
and so I just slept on the wicker couch or whatever for.
You're so far along in your career to still be doing shit like that. It's crazy.
I slept fine. Like I don't have.
Of course you did. You're a fucking wild animal.
It was-
Jesus Christ.
But and then we woke up
It was
and
like
went
it
fishing.
was like a nap because it was like 3 hours. We had to wake
Yeah,
up
yeah.
early.
I had a nice nap on the couch. Like my feet were like.
Hanging off the end.
It was probably about this, maybe a little smaller than this couch.
Yeah.
But it was like the wicker, like
Yeah.
up
Oh.
high. But then fishing. What is your take on fishing?
Oh, first of all, I thought it was really fun for the first like 4 hours.
There you go.
And then we
How
got to
long was
hour 6, and we were like, Mincy also like, Mincy by hour 4 was like so red.
It was so sunburned. It was
And then,
crazy.
it was crazy.
Like,
And then
Did you
like,
not have anything on or anything like
no,
that?
well here it's like I don't fish enough that like we went out at 7 a.m. and the sun's not up yet.
Yeah,
and
you
there's a
guys
lot
didn't
of
get back.
cloud coverage and all this stuff.
Yeah.
So like I didn't even think to put sunscreen on.
yeah,
Did you put sunscreen on?
no, I know like that.
I think
we
that's
could
pretty
have
dumb
like,
of you guys,
used
though, to
our
be honest.
adult brains and put sunscreen on.
Because like
but
if I would when I've gone on boats in recent years, I'm like, where's the sunblock?
yeah,
I brought
but she didn't
sunblock.
like tell us like
Yeah.
to, you know what I mean?
Kind of
I
on you. I feel like.
agree wholeheartedly. I'm with Jackie 100% that we should have been told to put sunscreen on. And I get saying that out loud sounds insane, but like I think there
Sydney
should have been something
probably
like,
should
hey
have,
guys,
like-
you might want a sunscreen up.
Yeah,
I
like
think that would have been nice.
Like I think there's something to be said for like, we're gonna go out on my boat, like, you know, like the water can get pretty choppy out here, so if you get seasick, like the sun is very strong in this area, and you know, like here's what the bathroom situation might be. Like there's a few things that you gotta usually like run through, so I can understand that, but also. A sunblock situation is a very, like, there are people who don't put any on, there are people who put 4 on, there are people who put 50 on. It's kind of up to you. But I think for the purpose of this, like, especially if I went, like, we are the indoors people, the city slickers coming out to your world, like, she probably doesn't even wear it or think twice about it because she's in the sun all the time, but she's got to be thinking, like, what do I do with these rookies?
Right. This
I can
content
see that.
series is about taking children out to do adult things.
Yes.
Treat us
Here
like
we go.
children.
Yes,
Like,
yes. But that all being said, in the this is a good am I the asshole? You know, it's like for the sake of like that dynamic of the video, yes, she should have held your hand. But
She's
held your penis
100%
while you
not
peed.
an asshole.
But-
If it was,
But-
it's not
but-
am I the asshole? We were the asshole.
we were
Mincy-
100%.
But
We were wrong,
yeah.
but it would have been nice to tell us.
Mincy by hour like 8 was like hiding under any kind of fabric that would be.
So
that
he
you
had
could
like
find
no
on-
sunblock.
He was like blistering by the end of it.
He
He was
was
so red.
so red. He was
No, he was putting sunscreen on, but we were on there for 12 hours. And so it's like, there's only so much that SPF can do at that point.
and it's a boat that doesn't have like a below,
No.
like you can't. Like,
Bro, it was a boat for 3
Like
people,
pontoon
and
boat?
we had like 7 of us on
Yeah,
it. It
yeah.
was great. Like we
was
had
there any talk of like, hey, maybe we cut this in half to 6 hours?
I was scared to say it. In fact, when I'm doing someone else's videos, I don't want to
let them take the
I don't want to take over, but like I kept wanting to grab either John Kelly or Mikey, and almost turn like the idea of like if it was my video and I was producing it, it would have been we are trapped on this fucking boat. Yeah. Like I wanted to take the camera and be like, get us on. We can't get. But I probably should have done it just so they had that footage anyway. Yeah. But like, I think around lunchtime, Jackie and I talked about it like
it
early.
Should have been till lunch.
We were both like fishing off the front early, and then we were like, I kind of get this. Mm-hmm. Like that was Jackie. You caught your first fish, and I like right away.
The catfish.
Yeah.
I think yes.
Yeah.
Yes. That was also I think that was part of the issue was we were catching only catfish. I think that they were waiting for us to catch like actually big fish, and we couldn't. I don't know why this is
but also like catching catfish for you guys is totally fun. Like
that.
That's
I
good.
don't think they planned for that.
We also made fishing so much more fun. When somebody catches a fish, you don't actually catch the fish until you call dibs on the fish. And so if somebody else catches a fish and you call dibs, that's your fish, and you caught that fish.
Yeah, we were like, dude, we were screaming. I don't think the captain thought it was as funny as we did. No. We were like, dibs, that's my fish. They were like, as they were like reeling and wrestling, like, what are you talking about?
Were there strangers on the boat?
No, there weren't. There wasn't room for anyone else. Okay. But dibs was fun.
Dibs was fun. That was like the best part of it. When you get like a little point system going, and then I don't know if I can like say this because I don't want to like ruin the video or whatever. But like, I think that's the reason like why if we had caught some big fish early on, then like we would have ended it. And by hour 6, finally, like one of the guys catches like a big fish. It was redfish. It was exactly what they were looking for. Everyone was so excited. And then they were like, okay, you think I can say this part or whatever?
Yeah.
This is what I think. So then they were like, take a picture with it, Jackie. And I was like, I don't want to take a picture with it. Like, it's still alive. Like, I don't want to touch that. And they were like, you have to, like, for the video. So I was like, fine. And so, like, I have my hand in the mouth. And then the mouth moves while my hand's in it. So then I throw it back in the water. And it swam away. And, like, everyone else is trying to be, like, nice about it. Be like, oh, no. And John was, like, trying to get off this boat. And poor Mincy was like, that was our one shot to get off this boat. And we had finally caught it. We probably could have called it a day. But, like, then it just, the fish swims zoomed off. And it was so alive when it went back in the water.
So alive.
Dude, at one point, I walked because, like, we knew we had to, like, it's a hunting video. Like, that's why I didn't want to, like do, like, the whole, like, get us off this boat. Because, like,
it takes a long time.
It's their hunt, but it's, like, their videos are about hunting and catching fish. And, like, that's the point of the video.
Yeah.
And at one point, I just walked by Jackie and went, catch a fish, get us off this fucking boat. And then, like, and that was, like, an hour later. And, because mind you, by the way, it wasn't food. Yeah. They brought the Lunchables. It was just crackers and cheese. And I was like, yo, I've been out here for 8 hours. I'm starving.
This is why, bro. You're not cut out for that life, dude.
And I want to be clear. I had a lot of fun and I loved it.
Same.
But, like, by hour 10, I was like, I'm ready to go. And I was like, Jackie, catch a fish and get us off this boat.
So
catch a fish and she just throws it in the water.
I remember for like a minute was like, oh. And I was like, I'm so sorry.
It was, dude. It was actually so funny because I was still fishing off the back of the boat, and Sydney was taking a picture of Jackie. So she's like, Jackie, look over here, and like I was in the back of the picture, so I think she called my name to her. Maybe I just looked at her saying Jackie.
Yeah.
So I think I'm actually like, I think there's a good picture of me being like, because I watched it all happen, and I was like, we're out here for 3 more hours.
So you're holding it like kind of like by the gills, by the mouth, that sort of thing. And then it like wiggles around, and you just drop it, or you like were like get this like you threw it into the water, like
I think it hit the side of the boat, so it was like an audible like flap.
Oh my god!
It was.
And what did Sydney say? Was she just like?
She at first was like, I think she was kind of like, oh, are you fucking kidding me? Like, in the fishing world, like, we don't do that. Whatever. Yeah. And then she was like, realizing, like, I think that we weren't going to catch any big fish. So if she wanted a video, like, that was the best thing that she's going to get. So she ended up, like, thinking it was funny. But
I mean, that is so much better than a regular video.
100%.
I mean,
and let me tell you something.
You can't script
I think
it,
that the fishing community is really going to would much rather have enjoyed us to catch that fish and keep that fish and to see this
Sure,
dumb bitch.
that might be true, but like the Barstool community is gonna want to watch
Right.
Jackie throw the big fish of the day back in the water.
That's exactly like the and I'll say this. Jackie had a similar mishap. Would you say as big or potentially bigger?
Yeah,
it was
did you get
probably
like hit in the
bigger.
head with
In
a drone
terms
or
of
something?
money wise, probably bigger. First of all, I was -1 fish. We lost one. That was me. I caught another one. So now we're neutral
Caught a big
at
one.
this point. I caught a pretty big.
One. I dibsed it though. So.
Oh fuck! I'm
so
sorry.
your son-
John caught a big one. You also dibs the big one.
Yeah, I had a hell of a
So
day.
you're no. But then since I lost it, that's your
your
negative
loss.
one. That's your loss.
True.
But your win, so you're neutral. You're back
both
at
at
0. But then I guess we're both at 0. I accidentally took down the drone, the very expensive drone. So I'm at -1 drone.
-1 drone. What happened there?
It wasn't fully my fault.
No, I honestly, I wouldn't call it your fault. Like, it was. It's part.
Did it have to do with her gigantic paws?
Actually, it was my fault because I did see there was a drum. My line was cast. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about because you don't fish. I'm also really gonna lean into this fishing thing. I think I'm gonna make
You're an
this
outdoors
part of my
woman now?
personality for a while.
Maybe now you bitches understand why guys make it in their dating profile.
That's-
Oh, Jackie said that.
Exactly what I said. I actually 1000% get it. I think it's hot.
You
like
hoes just have never gone fishing.
Yeah, that's impressive. Point is, I cast my line. The drone was coming this way, and there definitely was a moment where I could have lowered it or not moved it or whatever. And I think that there might have been a small part of me that was like, "What's gonna happen?" I kind of want to see how this plays out. Not actually. We're gonna probably cut that out because
leave it.
I don't want to admit that. But that on top of processing problem, like I said, I probably could have moved it if I was a little quicker.
I've done dumb things like that before where I'm like, what could happen? And then I do
Yeah.
it. I'm like when I was driving through the car wash and I was like, what would happen if I opened my window? And I did it and I was like, oh, no, bad idea. I had to push the thing out and get it up. And I was like, why did I do that? Why would I do that? Why would I ever do that? But there was this little part of my brain that was just like, what can happen?
I didn't want to admit this. I felt bad because the guy, it's very expensive.
So
piece.
wait. You're casting or it's already in the water?
It's in the water.
And the line is what trips it? Hits the drone hits the fishing line.
Yes.
And it that takes it out?
It got caught in that, and then it went in the
And
water.
in the water. Oh my god.
Yeah, it was.
And this is her Barstool Outdoors filming cameraman who has an expensive drone, I'm assuming.
We lost the
And
footage.
was he okay? It's
No,
okay, or was
Mikey's the man.
so nice
He
about
was
it.
really nice about it.
But do you think he was motherfucking you behind your back? This dumb bitch threw the fucking
I
fish
don't
and the
think
drone in the
so.
water.
Pretty nice. He wasn't really happy when the footage was also lost. They checked that, and that was gone.
Oh, the footage is gone?
Not for everything, but for when it dropped. But they were
Oh.
like, we can just redo that. We can just kind
Oh,
of.
we'll just get another drone and throw it in.
There's ways to get it. We'll figure it out. Yeah. But
That's so
yeah, it
funny though.
wasn't-
Throwing the fish back in is so good.
it was awesome.
The fact that Mincy was like, there goes our chance to get
Bro,
off.
being on a boat, and I've thought about this a lot.
Dude, I'm just thinking of just Jackie throwing a fish in the water and John being like, ooh, and Mincy's in the corner just boiling alive.
Bro, at one
Just
point-
what a scene.
Dude, did you get a picture of him with the hat? And then at one point he tied Sydney's shirt around his neck, so almost looked like when the women used to wear the almost like sombrero type hats with the
Yes.
bow
Yeah,
around
yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah.
It kind of looked like that where he's just sitting there.
Bro, I've been there, man. I've been at, more on the beach than on a boat. But when there's no shade and you can't escape,
Yeah.
you're building umbrellas and
Bro,
fucking
there was one
shelter
point.
see,
and
him
shit.
kind of here. That it's not even doing it justice. How red he was.
It's pretty red though.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
There was one point where Mincy was in the corner in his bonnet, and I was sitting there on the front of the boat with towels over my legs, and I was like, I really don't think we can say any louder how bad we want to go back. And we
Yeah.
stayed out for 4 more hours.
Dude, was there a formal hey Sid, this is great, but I've reached my limit? Or
No, when I'm doing someone else's thing, I'm not going to speak up.
Dude, that is the problem with the boat. We were talking about this a couple weeks ago where your friends would get drunk and agree to the boat, and then they get dragged out there,
Yeah,
and then they wake up, and it's like, those guys are there to fish for the day, and they are not going back in for your bitch ass.
Mind you, the whole time, we didn't go deep sea fishing. So the whole time, we went in the Mississippi River, we went like some inlets, some whatever, I don't know. But like, the whole time, we could see land, and it crossed my mind a time or two.
They swim?
I was like, I'll just swim.
Yeah.
Like, there were one too many gators I saw to make a swim.
Yeah.
But like, there were a few times where I was like, if there was a restaurant there, I'd swim.
And I'm sure it was like way too far to swim.
No.
Really?
Like most of the time, like
you actually could have swum.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It wasn't like I could see land. It was like land was like the door.
Oh.
Like we were close to land a lot.
Yeah, you would have had no idea how to get back.
Right.
From the land, but you could have done it.
Was it like uninhabited land?
Yeah, it was very swampy
Okay.
and like Evergladesy or whatever.
Got
those
it, but you
fucking
could have
things
got
are
on
called.
like your feet on the ground.
I could have. Yeah. I could have done something.
But that wouldn't have done you much good.
No, then I would have been hungry there.
Right. But no, and I get what you're saying, where like you're the guest, it's their video, all that shit. But I would have done that for like 2 hours. I would have been like, I gave you a full 2 hours over my breaking point. Like you guys, it sounds like you did like 8 hours over your breaking point.
I think lunch. So we got there like 7. I think lunch where I was like, all right, day's about done.
Yeah.
And then we got back at 6 p.m.
This is why I say no to these things, and it's not out of
No,
it's like,
I wanna see
Sydney,
you
I
do it
love
so
you.
bad.
I actually even love the idea of fishing, but I like to do things basically 1 hour.
Yeah.
Like 1 hour, I just do things in 1 hour increments. You know, the podcast is like 2 hours. That's it. That's done. Everything can be done in like an hour.
Yeah. The rest of the trip, once Minzy got too sunburned and said the energy zapped him, it was clear. Like Minzy was not himself.
Wait,
He
also,
was-
can I just say this? That we were like playing music at one point, and there was like it was rap, and like there would be like, I don't know if I can say this, but like there was a few N words or whatever. And Minty was so conscious, he just. He would not even. There was like a 5-minute period where he would just close his mouth. Everyone look at him. He go, nope.
Like Papa John. I'm trying not to say it. I'm not gonna do it. That's so funny.
But then once, like he said, his energy's been zapped, and he was sitting in the corner.
My energy's been zapped, fellas.
And I'm sorry, I'm not the way I am. And we were watching him. Jackie's got some good footage. And I've thought about this phrase. I've said this phrase in my head 10,000 times this weekend. And I said it to Jackie, and she looked at me like I was insane. And I said, being around Ben Mintz makes me want to learn how to paint. Because whenever I look at him, I go, I wish I could paint this picture. He's so emotive and expressive, where I'm just like just sitting there, like I was like, a picture doesn't do it justice. I wish I could fucking put ink to paint the canvas here and just capture all this.
His handshake?
Oh my God, it's the greatest thing I've ever seen. Unbelievable.
Handshake with Dave. When he first puts his hand out and pulls it back, and then Dave kind of does like the pat on the shoulder from afar, and then that's it. Like he just goes back to talking to Jerry, and he's like, "Okay." That was glorious, man.
Quiggs just had the best capture. Just goes insane. He thought this handshake was gonna land because the camera like swings. It's like he's not on the other side of the room. And it is. And he also at one point called a shot. We were like, I was going in the water. I was going in the water because I had to pee, and I'm fine peeing off the back of the boat. But like, Sydney was just standing there, and I had made it known. Where I was like, so just pee off the back of the boat, and by that I meant, hey Sydney, can you move so I can take my penis out?
Yeah.
And she didn't. So I was like, I'll just jump in the water then. Yeah. And so I was like, hey, go in the water. And like, I think I was asking about.
Sydney's probably like, I don't give a fuck about
right,
your
she
dick,
probably
but
care.
It's like we technically are basically at the office.
Yeah.
I cannot take my dick out in front of you. I'm sure there's been a million dudes who have peed in front of her on a boat or when they're hunting or whatever, and she does not give a shit. But you are still technically like a coworker and a superior in a way. I cannot take my dick out here. I'm sorry.
Actually, later on the day, a story came out. Had I remembered this story, maybe I wouldn't have cared so much. But I don't even know if you were around for this. When she peed on Mikey.
Oh yeah.
Mikey's like her camera guy, and they was telling a story about her peeing on him. Like,
Was it like one of those?
it was that's a headline, but that's not the reality. What happened is like they were sitting on the boat. They were both in wetsuits. You just pee in wetsuits, and like they were sitting there like coming back, and his hand was here, and his hand started getting warm water on it. He's like, "Is that? Are you peeing?" She's like, "I'm peeing."
But it still was unclear. It was like, did you mean to? And she was just like, no.
Maybe I did.
But so I jump in the water. I'm getting ready to jump in the water, and Mincy's sitting. He always sits Indian style.
He just looks so stressed out all the time. I tried to take a few videos, but I just have he's just like.
It's so funny. She's got a.
I can see that.
Like of him just like.
Yeah.
I don't even know what was happening at the time. Show Kevin a few of them. They're so
He's
funny.
always like.
But like he was sitting there like I think trying to stay out of the sun, and he
fucking.
She goes, "Whoa."
It went like all the way to the top.
He's like sitting there like crouched over like avoiding the sun, and I was like, I think I'm gonna go in the water, and almost like an agent who's been activated, he just looks up and goes, "Want me to do a viral cannonball?" Like, and he said viral. I was like, that's Babe Ruth calling his shot right there. Like,
dude, this is so like you just squirming.
Wait, that last one at the end where he fucking pins down. It's like, do you not feel it looking at that picture? Don't you wish you could paint that? Like I wish I could.
The way
paint
he's like
that.
looking off into the sun is so good. Just even that pose.
Yeah, he's always sitting crisscross applesauce.
Yeah, which is crazy because you would think he couldn't.
Yeah.
He's like comfortable in that way. I feel
like
like
I've
I've
viral
seen
cannonball.
like my cannonball is the viral one.
Yeah.
Be the best.
Like he's probably right. Where he's just like, yeah, we're gonna.
I'm sure. I mean, listen, if I saw a headline that said Mincy does a cannonball, I'm clicking.
We ended up jumping in together and holding hands, and that's not as good as just Mincy.
Yep.
And then at the end of the day, I don't know if it was his idea or someone's idea. Like, why don't you all get? He had to do a Rough and Rowdy promo, and he's like, why don't you all? Someone was like, why don't you all get in it? I was like, no, just like it's better, just Mincy.
Sometimes it's like
less
is more.
I wasn't like Mincy, hold my hand, let's jump in the water, because I know Mincy's better alone. It ended up happening. We ended up doing it, and it's fine. But I know
it would have been a bigger thing.
I bring it down.
Right.
Leave
It's
it
an
to
important
Mincy.
thing to know. Yeah.
I also feel bad, like, after I was like, that was your viral, I like joked, I was like, that was your viral cannonball, and he apologized for it like 5 times. He was like, I'm sorry, like, I didn't give my best, like, cannonball, like, I could do it again. I felt so bad. I was like, it was a fine cannonball.
Great cannonball. Mincy. So, in the end, no fish, 1 broken drone, boiled lobster Mincy.
Yeah.
And, I mean, you slept the next day till noon. Or not the next
2
day,
days.
but like when you
Yeah,
got home.
and then that night, I was like, we're not staying here.
Yeah.
Which we went back to New Orleans. And got to give a shout out to the old Barstool. We're pinching pennies. They were like, you don't get a hotel. And I was like, well, I'm getting a hotel because I'm not sleeping on the liquor couch again.
That was fucking crazy. John called me and was like, yeah, they said, like, we don't have the budget. And I was like, just use the KFC Radio money that we have. He's like, nope, they wouldn't allow that either. I was like, God damn.
Yeah.
Like, literally does not make a difference other than, like, there's a little fucking line on a spreadsheet that says KFCR instead of Barstool Outdoors.
I loved them being like, no, you have an Airbnb. I loved it. I have come to the realization I am a fan of rules for thee, but not for me. I was like,
That's crazy to be like.
I mean, it's like $120 hotel.
I know, but that's the point.
Yeah.
You can make the argument both ways. It's a $125 hotel to, like, keep, one of your, like, 12-year veterans, like, alive. Give a fucking break. Absolutely insane.
Jackie was talking. It was a Caitlin, and she was like, she was very apologetic. She was like, she wasn't like, no. She was just like, I don't think it's in the budget. And I was like, shout out you keeping like that numbers down, but also maybe let's fudge them up a little bit.
Maybe I'll tell you what, if you guys didn't splurge and steal that Camaro, maybe you would have fucking had a hotel that night. Yeah, that is something. I wish I was that guy, But like I would be so sunburned and miserable, and like I would just bring it down. I'm like, you guys go.
Yeah.
It's almost like a Mincy effect. Like
there was a day. There was a part of the day where it was like the energy shifted, and we came back. It actually did come back around. I think when someone caught it. I think it was before you threw the red back in the water, to be honest.
Probably before you took the entire goal of the video and threw it away.
It really killed the vibe when I did that. Like, it was pretty, like, we were all pretty, like...
Vibe killer, yeah.
Yeah.
That's like, you know, when you're, like, I can't even think of a comparison of, like, we're here to do this thing, and you accomplish the thing, and then just ruin the thing.
It was. But, like, as someone who, like, you know, I don't make wildlife content, so I don't know exactly what the... I you know, to be honest, I've never watched an outdoors video, so I don't really know what the vibe of them are. But like, I drove away being like, "That's an all-time video."
Well,
like,
right.
There's Jackie realizing that the rhythm of fishing.
Oh my God! Pop, lock, and drop it.
Yeah, like it was. She's like, "It's just pop, lock, and drop it," and then
I don't think he's gonna get it because he doesn't fish.
Jordy was like, I'll put it on. And then he put it on, and everyone was like, oh, yeah, pop, lock, and drop. And we were, like, dancing. That was a fun part of the day.
I also want to say that when I said that at first, because you, like, pop, you'll see it. And I want to say that when I said that, that also kind of killed the vibe for a little bit. Nobody, for, like, a little bit, understood what I meant. Until Feits was kind of like, okay, well, now it's kind of stuck in my head, and I know what you mean. And then we turned it on. But nobody acknowledged it for a second. But I was right about it the whole entire time.
It was very fun. They, you know, like we were telling stories about it and being like, I wish I could have got the boat. It was awesome. Yeah. There were times where I was like, I'm a little tired, but it was like a day. Mm-hmm. Some points I was tired. Other days I was more.
I just can't do anything for a full day.
It was when we came back and I was like, that was the whole day.
Yeah, that's all. I mean, yeah, you called me and you're like, I'm just getting off the boat, and I was like, I've done all of the things.
The kids are in bed.
Yeah, I was like, it was crazy.
Are you still like on your like vacationer's high or whatever? I feel like I didn't utilize. No. I could have like convinced you or something. The Portugal thing, like if we had gotten on that, if I had shown you some tickets, that was a missed window.
You gotta like kill my kids or something. If they were gone, we would go wherever. Alas, they're alive. They'll be alive for a long time.
Probably longer than me, in fact.
Right. I bet they outlast all of us. They're 7. Yeah. I wish if like the Zoom thing really took, if like somehow, and then you guys could go, you know what I mean? But like, it just doesn't. If like the whole world committed to just like, yeah, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you're on camera together or if you're through Zoom. I would have been like, you guys go.
Even if the whole world took that, I don't feel that, so I couldn't do it.
But that's what I mean. Even if somehow they come up with like a hologram.
But you're still never gonna have the energy in the room is different. Even if there's no lags, no stepping on toes, energy in the room is always gonna be different. Never gonna work. I mean, obviously it works. People use it, but not for me. It won't work.
If you were like a 3D hologram right now, you don't think I would?
I wouldn't feel the energy in the room.
But maybe you would.
But not a 3D hologram wouldn't. We're talking about new technologies that our minds can't even think of now.
Right.
Like you got to transfer bodily energy to a new location. That's what I need.
Well, you think it's like a pheromones aura thing, or it's just like if you looked like you look, like if it was just like a 3D projection, if I could just go whoosh, and I would like go through you, but it looks that way, you don't think I would get the same energy?
Mm-hmm. I think you can feel it. You ever watch a sex scene with your parents? You feel it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and if I were to watch a sex scene with a hologram of my parents, I wouldn't care. I'd be like, but I would if their reaction was in real time, I'd be like, if they were going, oh my god.
You know why? But like, you wouldn't if it was a 3D hologram, you wouldn't hear their leg cross. You wouldn't feel the shuffle, the shift. Yeah. You might hear the exhale, but you wouldn't feel like the tension.
Yeah.
If you can't hear the little noises,
right,
it's not the same.
So anyway, you're not going to Portugal. I'm sorry. Sorry. Yeah, no, I think the honeymoon for everything is worn off. You know, the vacation honeymoon, the Barstool honeymoon, everything's like, oh fuck, I have to go to work every day in the middle of the day now. Fuck. The amount of things that I used to be like, oh, today's the day I just like wouldn't go in at all. I absolutely have to go in now. Fuck. So.
Oh yeah, I thought about that. I was thinking tomorrow was a day off. It's not.
Nope.
We get a radio show.
No, there's no day off. No days off.
Game Time is the exclusive ticketing partner of Barstool Sports. As I say this, I am reminded I need to hit up Game Time tomorrow to see Chappelle at MSG. There are tons of shows to catch the end of summer. Make sure you want to go to all of them. It was created by fans for fans. Game Time is a ticketing app that makes it easier than ever to score last-minute deals, tickets to sports, concerts, and shows, and they guarantee the lowest price. As I just said, I need to be in the building for Chappelle. I think he's Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday here. Got to be there for one of those. NFL, college football is coming up, concerts, all kinds of stuff. Drake, 21 Savage, Morgan Wallen, Luke Combs, SZA, baseball, U.S. Open. I am also Game Time. Get ready. I'm going to be hitting you up for that because I was at Carlos last year. I need to be at Carlos again this year. Hopefully it's Carlos Joker 3. It is all possible with the Game Time app. The biggest last-minute price drops can be found. The seats you thought you could never buy. The purchase process takes just 2 taps and 10 seconds. Once you buy your tickets, they're delivered directly to your phone. No printer needed. The app also allows you to sell and easily share tickets with friends via text so you can get into the game seamlessly. Skip the hassle. Enjoy the moment. Download the Game Time app or go to the website, enter your email, and redeem code KFC for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply.
We got the Barstool Awards show this week. I don't know. I'm presenting an award all of a sudden.
You are?
I got a tech. Oh, I don't think I was supposed to say that.
Too late. It's in.
Too late. Whatever. Yeah. They're keeping the nominees quiet. That's stupid.
Dude, Nick was telling me that because Nick
They're
is
doing this all wrong.
He's presenting an award, and he's like, they won't tell me. Like, I can't do any joke. Like, obviously, we can all improv and stuff like that, but Nick is exceptionally funny at everything. The new Out of Order, go watch the mime sketch. It's the funniest thing I've ever seen.
Dude, what I love hearing. My favorite thing about Out of Order is getting to hear like the inside. Like you guys didn't. There's like 2 skits that everyone's loving that you guys thought were like kind of throw-ins this week. Pavs was saying.
I don't know what the feedback. I know the mime one is unbelievable.
Yeah, no,
the
people love the mime one. I thought me and Owen both thought the shampoo one was like, it's good. It's gonna make people laugh, but like ton of comments about how like people just quoting that it's in my eyes.
Can I get a towel?
Oh really?
It's in my eyes.
Those are just such cheat codes. Those are like the joke when the joke is yelling. It is like
but
a
it's
cheat.
like that's exactly
Like
what my kid does.
we
It's
went
like
to
so
the-
perfect.
Dude, that was one where it was like that just like it just literally.
You should give yourself more credit in that. Like to nail. Like I didn't realize how universal it is. I guess like a little kid screaming for a towel the way he does. Keegan does it to me all the time, and I'm like, you're just water. Like you're not. It's not. Shut the fuck up. And when you did it exactly like him, I was like, oh my god.
I just did exactly that. Like,
Well, this is how I found out about it because I was talking. I think I was talking about you on the last episode when you weren't there, and I was saying how much you just will commit to these acting roles, and as I was describing it, they were like, yeah, I mean, he just like, we were like, we need someone to like have his eyes hurting. Okay, I got it. I mean, that's the method acting.
It's not even method.
The
It's just
Feitelberg
like,
method.
I think it's what I do with everything. Where it's like, I've said it before, like, I'm a chicken Caesar salad. Is that what needs to be done? I'll do it.
Yeah.
Like it is the.
Wait,
Nate
what
was
about
like,
the
you want
Caesar
to
salad?
water for like a 30-second like cold open?
Yeah.
I was like,
Fuck yeah.
We need to do it. We need to do it. I don't think of that as anything
Wait, what is that?
extraordinary
What
at
about
all.
the chicken Caesar salad?
Does a chicken Caesar salad whenever you like, if you need to get through the day, chicken Caesar salad's like, I got it. We'll do it. We'll get you through it. And I'm like,
Did you just come up with that?
I'm like, I've said it on the show before. Like, I'm a human version of chicken Caesar. I'm nothing flashy. I'm nothing special. But like, I'll
get
just
you
do
your
it.
sustenance.
I'll get it for you.
Yeah. It's great. It's great.
Like, that's just all I am. I'm like, yeah, I'll get it done. Like again, it's not gonna be what you want, but it'll get you done. Like I'll get you through.
And you know what though? But sometimes they're surprisingly good too. When you have a good Caesar salad at like a steakhouse, you're like, oh, this was good. I like this. That's kind of you.
Yeah. Like, all right, it's gotta get done.
I'll get the job done, and every now and then I pleasantly surprise.
Yeah. What do you want? Close your eyes. What if you could do anything right now? You're not gonna say a chicken Caesar salad, but if it has to happen,
I'm gonna have a chicken Caesar. I'm gonna have a Caesar salad.
Well, I was saying all this to say, the mime sketch is hilarious.
Yeah.
And Nick is like, he is incredibly funny, but he's also an incredible joke writer. And he's like, they won't even tell me like what I'm doing, so I can't have any.
I mean,
like,
now I'm gonna go up there and just go, and the nominees are.
Right.
Like, I'm not, I'm not going to get out over my skis on this one. But, like, nominees, the whole world always knows the nominees first.
Yes,
You know the nominees for, like, months going into it, or weeks going into it.
If I could do a sidebar real quick. I read an article in the AV Club the other day about the nominees for what I think they're projecting nominees for the Emmys.
Mm-hmm.
For comedy. It doesn't mean anything anymore.
It hasn't for so long.
But it's even worse now, man.
Really?
Like, it was, I would say, half of the shows.
Never even, like, heard of?
Haven't heard of, have heard of, they're not
funny.
comedies.
Yeah.
Like, and I think if you would ask the people writing the scripts,
you know
they're like,
what?
we're not writing a comedy.
Comedy becomes, like, not drama. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
almost
yeah.
just, like, it's everything else that's not, like, murder and, like, suspicion, fucking.
I'm gonna see if I can
whatever.
pull it up real quick. It was I'm not saying it's not funny. I'm saying I don't think it is intended to be funny.
Yeah.
Okay, so here are the nominees: Abbott Elementary, comedy; The Bear, not a comedy;
No, not at all.
Jury Duty, comedy, but Jury Duty's great. I like Jury Duty. I don't know if I'd call it.
Jury Duty's funny, but it's not like.
I wouldn't call. I don't know if it's a comedy.
Like,
I guess
it's
it is because a lot of it is written. It's a
Yeah.
funky one.
Yeah.
Ted Lasso, I don't think that's a comedy anymore. I think maybe the first one it was.
Yeah, it's like a family like. bullshit.
Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, dramedy. Barry, not a comedy anymore.
Not Barry.
Great show, not a comedy anymore. Wednesday, not a comedy. That's just like a young adult show. And Only Murders in the Building, which is probably a comedy. So Abbott Elementary is a clear comedy.
I have a take on a lot of these. I'm done pretending about Only the Murders in the Building.
I don't even think I finished season 1. I enjoyed it, but it wasn't like I didn't need to keep watching it.
It's the odd couple. It's the unlikely trio of them together. I get it. It has some cute moments. You're wasting my time.
Yeah.
Only Murders in the Building is wasting my time.
I got out.
I don't want to do it
again.
anymore.
It was fine, but I wasn't like I think I probably watched 4 or 5 episodes of season 1, and then just other things
Even
popped
in this
up.
next
and I
season, it's like, oh, but like the murder didn't happen in the building, and then it's like, boom, it happened in the building. I was like, it's just not that good.
Yeah.
It's just this sounds stupid because a show is what it is, but if it wasn't Martin Short, Steve Martin, and Selena Gomez, that's the appeal.
Yes.
That it's like these major stars from these different walks of life. If it was just 3 other people, it would not last a minute.
Yeah.
And that there is something to be said for that they have the star power, but there's something to be said for the fact that it can't carry without it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like what do you call Wednesday? It's like that's what I mean. It's just not.
It's not a comedy. If you ask the writers, are you
adult-
writing a comedy? I don't think they'd say yes.
Yeah, no.
I think they'd be like,
it's
we're writing a
it's like
show that's
coming
got
of
some jokes in
age,
it.
It's I guess if you're intending to laugh, but like especially when it's just like Always Sunny in Philadelphia is trying to make you laugh, and like they do.
But even 10 years ago when Sonny wasn't getting nominations,
it was usually like Veep.
It was Veep. It was Modern Family. Like then you could make
But Modern Family is kind of like you run into the like.
I think Modern Family. I think the intention you towards the end it ends almost like Scrubs, where like they have like the resolution, and it's like over some music, and like one of the characters is talking, and that part gets a little resolutionary, and there's a little after schooly to it. Yeah. But I still think that the intention was laugh.
Yeah.
Ted Lasso probably still gets that, but like,
are we still doing like is Ted Lasso another season coming?
No,
okay.
That's done. But I think Abbott Elementary
been a stain on society. Abbott Elementary is it's an interesting show. It's like I remember seeing a compilation of all their funny moments, and I was like, holy shit, this is fucking hilarious. What is this? And then I watched it, and it was like, oh, those were all the funny parts.
Yeah.
And like,
I like Abbott. I don't watch it religiously, but I've probably seen season 1, a good amount of season 2. It's funny. It's a very funny show. I have no problem with it winning. I'm not like, what, that one? It's a very funny show. But like that's the only one. That's a comedy then.
But it's almost like what Adam Devine was saying
what he said on this show and then went super viral for later, as always goes.
When is that gonna stop happening? When are people just gonna realize that all these guests and all these moments happen here first? Just stop talking about the show that has it second and talk about the show that has it first.
It was like 2 weeks later. He's like, Adam Devine says Marvel. Like, yeah, no, I know.
Fucking bullshit. And these morons who cover it, like, okay, hey, morons who just went viral. Recognize that you could have had that viral moment before everybody 2 weeks ago if you listened to our show. So maybe start listening to our show to catch the next one first instead of second. Damn it. Drake. That one's gonna haunt me forever. That's gonna haunt me for the rest of my life. We had the Soulja Boy Drake moment first. Literally, he's obviously like scripted it. He did it exactly the same, and just nobody cared. Nobody cared.
I was gonna say, yeah, I think like comedies don't. I don't even, and I guess those I don't even have a problem with those nominees because I'm not like, it should have been X. Like, I just don't think like the show is getting made.
Yeah.
Like, I can't think of what would I replace any of those with? I don't know.
Yeah. Right. I mean,
Righteous Gemstones.
I gotta stand up for Marvelous Mrs. Maisel. I get what you mean though. Marvelous Mrs. Maisel. I have not done the new season yet because it just hasn't worked out time wise. It's a great show.
Great show.
It's not, but I do understand what you mean. Like, it's more of just like it's about comedy. Why it's funny. But
that's one I would give that. I'll give that a comedy. But that's still, I think, like only half. There's 8 nominees.
Yeah.
I think only half are like that's a comedy.
Yeah.
And even those ones are like.
There's been ones over the years that are like not funny at all. But it's just not the other one. There's no like rape and murder. There's no like political intrigue. There's no suspense. It's comedy, you know.
That's a classic thing in the Golden Globes. Like that's why The Martian won Best Comedy. Because
that's crazy.
But the Golden Globes don't have a category for comedy. So that's fine. But this is the comedy category.
Yeah, that's crazy.
This is the comedy category for the Emmys.
Yeah, that's stupid. What would you give it to? What's like been the funniest show?
I'll say this. And it's very similar to Only Murders in the Building, and the ending is so incredibly atrocious. I think I had my most laugh out loud moments for a show so far on I don't remember the name of the show.
Give me a hint.
It's very Only Murders based on a true story. Based on a true story on Peacock with Kaylee Cuoco and Chris Messina. It's a show that was playing when I had to go upstairs to see if my neighbors were getting murdered. It's funny. I had a lot.
I do remember you complaining about the ending of that though.
But it's a testament to the show that I still.
Wasn't it like you thought like this can't be the last episode or something?
Yes.
You were just like, oh, there's got to be
more. I was
more.
like, I figured I caught up.
Yeah.
Like it was
right.
weekly.
There's one more.
And I figured like, only 8 are out, and it was oh no, they released the whole season. It's the ending, but then I think it's a testament to the show that I still recommend it. That the ending is so bad.
Can throw all the other ones out. Have you watched Telemarketers yet?
No.
Bro, Telemarketers is unbelievable.
Really?
Telemarketers is like I can't even believe it's real, but it is. It's a documentary about this CDG, the Community Development Group. And all they did was sell stickers that basically said, like, I support the local police department. And they're like, can we, and you'll stick it on, and we'll give you a card, and maybe it'll get you out of a ticket, but you'll show your support for the boys, for the men and women. And they just, like, sold shit like that, like complete scam shit. And this guy, I'm almost wondering if it's like a jury duty thing, because I'm like, did this guy really think in the moment, like, I'm just going to start filming this? Because he says, and he's like, I just needed to film this because I was like, what the fuck is going on here? And there's this guy, Pat Pacehouse.
Wait, I'm sorry to interrupt. Is it a documentary or is it a show?
It's a documentary.
Okay.
But it's unintentionally funny because the people that you're talking to are like this guy, Pat's like, yeah, I've been selling all the stickers for years. And, these fucking guys are taking hundreds of millions of dollars. And they're like, Pat, are you a little bit high on heroin right now? And he's like, yeah, but it's fine. It's just like,
Are you a little bit high on heroin? A little bit, sure.
Dude, the
Are you
footage-
not?
Yes, that's kind of what it is.
That's what we were doing here, boy.
Yeah, that's the vibe of the show. The amount of like characters, the amount I've only seen one episode, by the way. It's a week to week.
Oh, okay.
And the very end of the first episode is like it goes deeper, and there's a blurred out face and a blurred voice being like, oh, this is like a $300 million scam. Like this runs deep. But the morons, the story starts out. This kid was like, I dropped out of school at 14, and the only place I could start working was this telemarketer group. I was like, 14? He was a 14-year-old with like, the heroin addicts. And there was people fucking and
I worked with
drilling
everyone when I was
dugs.
14. It's pretty fun.
Yeah, you probably would have fit in with the telemarketer. It is like unintentional comedy through the roof. What Khan's actually had a good, for once, his dumb brain had a good. What did he say? It's like. Oh, did you watch the Action Park documentary? That was kind of a New York thing.
I know.
if
I
you-
watched the movie with Johnny Knoxville, Action Land.
Yeah, Action Park was like this. It was just like this crazy. Well, if you know Action Park, you get the reference. If you don't, you don't. But telemarketers is, I think it's week to week, so it's only just starting to bubble. But it was one of those. All of a sudden, I just start hear a lot of people talking about it, and this guy Pat Pesas is going to be a legend. So yeah, not a scripted thing, so it's not comparable. But if you're looking for laughs, telemarketers is where it's at.
Wait, can I also say today we were all in the room and Pavs, once you two left, Pavs said, "You wanna say what you said to me?"
You walked in. It was almost like I was like talking shit about you, Kevin. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was funny.
No, that part came from it because I was telling just my story of my night last night, but I saw Barbie. Thought it was great.
Yeah.
I thought it was great because I also think it's just like I just like silly humor like that, and I was just like laughing the entire time.
You're a retarded person.
But also I think there was just so much like we talked about it.
Go into the other
Okay.
mic.
It was like I was talking. You just shut up really fast.
It was like almost like I was like talking shit, but like I don't know. I thought I laughed the entire time.
I love Francesa. I would never.
But also we talked about it for so long, and like I was just like curious of what it was, and I think
Yeah.
I was just like pleasantly surprised by like a lot of. I also think Gosling was just the funniest part about the entire thing.
Yeah.
I want to go see it again because I first of all, as Keegs said when she was on, she's like, "You didn't like the blank part," and I was like, "That sounds like a part I'd like a lot." But I was asleep.
You were
during
asleep.
it. I was like, "That does sound awesome." Like, you didn't even like the Casa Bro House, and I was like, "That sounds fucking sick." But I stand by, and what I've always said, my theater did not like it. So like, I almost think it's one of those things like if you're at a party that's like everyone's like this is fun, you're like hell yeah, this is fun.
Yeah.
My theater did not laugh that much. My theater like walking out, there was a lot of like rumblings like that wasn't that good. That's why when I walked out, I was like, I'm in the majority. I'm just gonna fire off this tweet. Fuck it.
Can we talk about that other thing you were talking about or no? Yeah. Oh, Paz has a great. This is a
Can you
great
go
story.
there?
Cometeer. Splurging for drive-thru can seem like the best option to add a high-quality cup of coffee to your day. Cometeer changes everything with hyper-fresh, flash-frozen coffee with incredible flavor that you can make in seconds wherever you are. I have actually started to get on coffee. I'm not drinking it all the time, but occasionally with the addition of radio, the day starts to lag a bit. Cometeer's got you there. Fresh taste, easy to make, etc. I've had a couple of close calls actually getting coffee for radio. Cometeer can save me there. Each serving of Cometeer is brewed from craft coffee beans from the very best roasters in the country, from Intelligentsia, Onyx, George Howell, and more. Never burnt or diluted, expertly brewed and flash frozen at peak flavor to lock in freshness, and it's delivered right to your door on dry ice and keeps fresh in your freezer until you're ready for a cup. Cometeer doesn't need any machines or gadgets and no cleanup. For a game-changing cup of delicious coffee, you need Cometeer. For hot coffee, you just drop the puck of frozen coffee extract into your cup and add hot water to melt. That is very flashy. Flash frozen as well. Or customize your cup to create iced coffees, lattes, affogatos, and martinis. Well, you can do a martini with this? Come on, dude. Join the future of coffee with Cometeer and get a curated starter pack of their most popular roasts. Go to Cometeer.com/KFC to get a free 8-pack and a travel mug when you sign up. Free 8 cups of coffee, free travel mug. That's like $70. That's more than $70 probably. That's probably like $100. $100 right now for free. Cometeer.com/KFC. That's a free 8-pack of coffees and a travel mug when you sign up at Cometeer, COMETEER.com/KFC.
So after I get home from Barbie, I'm sleeping over at my girlfriend's house on Long Island. She still lives on Long Island. And I've dated her for about 2 years now. And, like, this is the same story. We never told this on the podcast, but this is the same story that my first date with her dad got the table right next to us.
Yes.
And, like,
I think we did tell.
And
then there was the FaceTime debacle.
The FaceTime. Like,
So
there's
you've been, like, trying to win over the dad.
Yeah. So we get home, and my girlfriend walks into the living room. The dad's hanging on the couch. She's like, "Good night, love you." And I just, like, he goes, "Good night, love you." And I walk by and I say, "Good night." And he goes, "It's okay. You can say I love you." And I, like, stood there in the hallway and just looked at him and just nodded my head and then went upstairs and didn't sleep last night because that's all I thought about.
Wait.
He said he just sat and got in bed and was just like, "Should I have said I love you? I don't know.
Should I love you back?
He said, "Can I love you to you?"
He said, "It's all right. You can say it."
But he said it to you first.
So she said, "Good night,
She said,
I
"Good night,
love you."
He goes, "Good night,
Good night,
love you."
love
And I
you.
said, "Good night." And then he said, "It's okay. You can say I love you." And I was like, and like, there's like 7 people in the room. Every single person just, like, you could hear just like a pin drop. And I was like,
The vibe in the room. The vibe in the room, like you talked about.
And-
You could feel it.
I was like halfway up. And I was like,
would.
I said I love you. She goes,
I mean, bro, that is a tough spot to put a kid in.
Did you say you've seen him
could
again
say
since?
I love
I
you.
haven't seen him again since. Yeah.
What do you do now?
What do you do?
Bro.
I mean, you almost have to lean into, like, make a joke of it. Like, I mean, that is a tough spot to put the boyfriend in. Like,
Yeah.
you can say I love you to me. and he said it like a joke, or like no,
That's
like,
the thing.
like
He
he
said
literally
it-
was
he's-
like, you know, you're around enough, like you
Yeah.
can. Are they a big, like, affectionate family?
Yeah.
So, like, maybe
I
he's
do
just like,
think that
you know,
there
you're
was
in
a
now.
tone of, like, this is like a joke. I'm fucking with you, but also see what he says here. Like, let's see what happens.
Like it's almost like being like, yeah, you can call me dad.
Bro, I think you're in an incredible position now. I
Yeah.
think you are in rarefied
You're in
air,
the driver's seat.
where your not father-in-law, your whatever you call your girlfriend's dad, he's got to earn your love now. So, like, you should
I wasn't
just-
ready to say it.
You know, just spring it on him one day when he does something
Yeah.
cool. You'd be like, "Hey, by
I
the
love
way,
you, man."
I
You've earned it.
What? Like, he makes a great steak set.
Yeah.
Like, by the way,
Dude,
I love
but
you.
like, so right now, if you were to go, that was to happen again.
Yeah.
What would you do?
I think I'm still holding back. I don't know. And I like
Good night.
even with my dad, like we save our I love yous for, like,
Yeah,
big moments.
yeah.
Like, I'm not, like, hanging on my phone with my dad every single time. Love you, Dad.
No,
I'm just
yeah.
those are for big moments. Like,
Yeah,
I
me
mean,
too.
it's-
Me too. We're broken.
Yeah.
Like,
I-
I think we're emotionally fucked up, but it's
Bro,
okay.
I think about that with my parents all the
All the
time,
time.
and how I'm so thankful that we're not like that.
Yeah.
Because, like, I think I've said this before, where, like, when I hang up the phone with either of my parents, it's usually goodbye.
Yeah.
If the conversation went really well, it's catch you later, I love you. And I'm like, I earned it, I love you today. And I think
That's
everyone,
severely broken too. Jesus Christ.
you have to earn your I love you.
Yeah.
You have to fucking bring the fucking
okay,
heat,
so
earn an I love you.
I guess I'm even
Unconditional love is bullshit. Love should be
conditional for
as
sure.
fuck,
What are the
man.
conditions? So maybe I'm even in, like, the worst spot. Like, I only, like, I said it to my sister had a baby, and I was like, at that phone call, I was like, congrats, I'm so happy for you guys. That got an I love you.
Doesn't get one. Bro, I know with my parents, I only get it when they laugh a lot. I can tell you 5
Bro,
minutes into a phone call.
this is quite literally a guy who just wants the love of his parents and thinks that he has to be a goddamn joker to get it. I'm the
Like,
court
hang up the
jester.
phone,
Everybody
but-
love me. I'm
Bro.
juggling for you, mom and dad. Just tell me I love you.
5 minutes into a call, I can tell you if I'm getting I love you. You're like, I didn't have it tonight.
I will only say it, like, when something, like, disastrous happens or something really good happens.
Oh no.
Like bad news, I'm like, okay, like like we'll see. Hopefully they survive. Like, I love you, Mom. Otherwise, never.
It could be a Tuesday afternoon if it went well. Yeah, and I love you. I'm like, we're kidding. I also genuinely believe that like unconditional love is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm kind of with you on that.
Unconditional love is. I love you unconditionally. What if I fucking go kill people?
I think
like, nuts.
I truly think the only person you can be unconditional for is your kids. Because like my kid, like if my kids killed somebody, I'd be like, whatever. I don't know. Everybody else, I'd be like, you should have killed that guy.
Anyone who says like
unconditional love for a relationship is complete bullshit.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
I think it's like
there's got to be blood.
What unconditional means then.
Yeah, like truly, there's not one condition that will make you change your mind. Is crazy. Kids, like I believe it. Blood, I can get close. Like they're like, my parents, my sister, my brother, they can do whatever. Anybody who says they're like unconditionally in love for like their spouse is lying. That's straight up a lie. It's straight up a lie. They can cheat on you. What if they cheat on you? What if they fucking kill somebody? What if like there's just a million things that are just like our relationship is based on like this agreement to do this thing together. Whereas like family blood is like we're in the same fucking.
No. I'm more unconditional love with the homies than I am with.
Oh yeah.
Yes, for sure.
Well, the homies are different than the
like.
I would go like kids,
family?
nuclear family, homies, romantic.
Yeah, that's probably fair.
Yeah,
that's probably fair.
Like my boys, I'm way more inclined to be like, all right, let's bury the body.
Yeah.
A girl, I'd be like, I'm dumping you. I'll go find someone who hasn't murdered someone. It's much harder to find a good friend than to find a good woman, or a good boy, like a good spouse.
A fun fact I learned recently, and maybe I've said this on the show because it came about when fun facts.
Yeah, we gotta get back on fun facts.
You know the phrase "blood is thicker than water"? Have I told you this?
No.
We talked about this.
I told you this?
Yeah.
Blood is thicker than water is obviously it's all a fallacy. It's not none of it's true. Like the phrase
like not even literally.
Well, I don't even mean literally. I mean like the phrase that it's stolen from. It mean it was on the show. I think.
Yeah.
It means the exact opposite. The phrase is the blood of the covenant is thicker than the water of the womb, which means it was definitely on the show, which means
must have been out for that day.
That like the promise and the agreement of friendship is more than just like a familial bond.
Oh, I think the opposite of that, but that's interesting. Yeah, blood's thicker than water. Yeah, blood's thicker than water.
But the full phrase of that, where that's taken from, is the blood of the covenant is thicker than the water of the womb.
So that's just like you can pop a kid out and they just go. But like if I agree to,
I think it is the
family versus
familial rather than like kid themselves.
I mean, I definitely get the idea of like just because you're my brother, if you're a piece of shit. I think of it more as like if you fuck up. If you're my brother but you're a horrible person, I wouldn't ride with you.
Yeah.
Whereas, so I can understand that. Just being like this person has the same DNA as me, so they get to do whatever the fuck they want. That I can understand that being like, no, that's stupid.
Yeah.
So I can understand that. But that's funny that's like the jack of all trades, master of none. But that's actually the end of the phrase means it's better to be the master of none.
Oh, really?
It's like the full phrase is jack of all trades, master of none. But like blah 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 is better than a master of one, so it's like it's actually good to be well-rounded.
It's like the national anthem where we just cut out all the racist shit. We'll stop before we get to the real message.
Verse 1, no verse 2. No verse 2.
We'll stop singing before we get to all the slavery. Speaking of that, real quick, Rich Men North of Richmond, fire ass song. That song's so good.
Yeah, this is I haven't actually listened to this.
You haven't listened to this song?
No, this is the one that's become like the right wing, like rallying cry. But it's just like a guy.
It's just a great song. Like,
yeah,
you can make it political. Like, it is a political song, but like, and it's people who like it. I wish they didn't like it, but it's a fucking great song.
Is he political?
I think this is his first time ever getting anything.
So is he down to ride, or like is he just like, we'll just like MAGA, let's go, or is he like, this is not my?
He hasn't really taken anything, so he blew up overnight, and he's just done some local shows since, and just only thing on his social media now is just different clips of him singing. So he really hasn't.
Can we get him on radio?
Dude, it's I think it's gonna be impossible.
You think so?
Dude, he has like 50 million views. It's insane.
Yeah, but you know, sometimes people are like,
he's got such a good voice. He has like line. He has a line where I keep repeating, was like, "Wish I'd look out for minors. Now minors on an island somewhere." And I'm like, yeah, fucking Epstein, motherfucker.
So all right, that's now I get it.
Yeah.
That's a little bit of lip service for the boys in red hats.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, I'm like, well, that's a bar though, dude.
Yeah, that
he has one where like his
he
tax
thought,
dollars should.
He
pay
thought
for
he
your
did
fun
something
rounds.
there. Yeah, he thought he did something with that one for sure. That's funny. That's country music bars is what that is. Yeah.
Dude, he's got great ass songs.
You know that there was somebody literally like, I wish they cared about these minors instead of those minors. Oh,
yeah.
Okay. We're gonna get in the studio right now.
Minors on an island somewhere. I do think because as the song's obviously become more right, but there is also a clip, dude, like that. I think that's like our echo chamber kind of deal where like it's just people on Twitter who think that. Like there's a viral video of people just listening, and it's every color, every one, and the song is just about like the middle class really, and now it's disappearing, and it's just like it's black people, it's white people, it's everyone, like people like yeah, this is a great song. It's just how it was first introduced to you,
right,
like,
right.
Whether it was someone quoting it and being like "fucking Republican idiots," or someone be like, "This guy's nailing it."
Yeah,
like it's just a good song. I like the song.
Yeah.
But I forget why I was saying all that. I forget.
300 million, 30 million views.
Oh. But if he was a left, and I don't know what he is, so I don't want to put this on him. If he wasn't considered to be a right-wing person, he would 100% be considered a plant. He just fucking blew up, huge out of nowhere.
He's the answer to Bobby Altoff.
Yeah. Like it's just like within like you had one song and it's got like 100 million plays. People go plant.
Yeah, no, you cannot have fast success ananymore.
Right.
You're automatically a plant.
And it's actually I always remember Louis C.K. saying this, where he was like, I blew up overnight to you. I've been doing this for 25 years.
He said,
he's probably like
Oliver said, I'm pretty dead set in the middle of the aisle on politics and always have been. Cool.
But like he's probably like, yeah, I've been singing these songs and at these little empty shows for 20 years.
Right.
Like, you just put me on a video for the first time.
I mean,
which is crazy.
And like he might have a whole fucking catalog where they're awesome songs. Or I don't know, but one-hit wonders are funny. I was thinking about it the other day. Like, I can't remember who I was thinking about. Probably just some rappers who just like they got a feature, and then that got them an album, and then they just couldn't really hack it the way like the superstars did.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, why did you not write enough or fast enough, or were you not pleasant to work with, or you just weren't like that? Like, I don't know. It's funny where it's just like this guy can sing and play, obviously, but maybe this will be like a one-hit thing. Who knows? I don't know. It's very strange sometimes to be like, I just couldn't recreate that ever again. It just never clicked the way it did that one time.
I think he will, because I think this kind of music is having
a moment,
so to speak.
Well, also,
and
like,
it has been for
whatever
a while. You can trace it back to like.
Now the question is does he
Mumford
lean into it?
And
you know?
I'm sure someone who knows more about that music wouldn't say it was before Mumford, but like,
sure, but
I feel like
that
the first
sort of
mainstream
vibe.
crossover type deal was like the Mumford.
Yep.
And I think it hasn't really gone away since then.
This guy has got to have. I mean, if he wants to lean into it, he could just be like a billionaire tomorrow.
Yes.
His next song should just be called. This song's called the N-word, and I'll just be that dude. For what does this mean? What is this?
So he has the line, and he's like can't pay taxes for your round of fudge rounds or something, or your box of fudge rounds, and everyone like kind of like took that as like He's like, I wasn't making a statement with like the fudge rounds thing.
He's like, I just wanted to buy fudge rounds.
No, he's just basically making fun. He's like, our tax dollars go to the obese that buy fudge rounds. And that's where the whole thing comes from. And that was one of the lyrics that was taken out of like that the right wing is like, or the left is like really upset about. I don't know why. Yeah.
I just could never imagine caring.
It's like, yeah, this is a funny line.
Yeah. It's funny to be upset about the fat people buying fudge rounds, though. My taxes are going to go to your snacks? Fuck out of here. That's funny. Yeah, like someone like this is going to for sure have like an agent or a company in his ear being like, if you dress like this and say these things, you will become mega wealthy superstar. And you got to decide whether you want to do that or not. I don't know. That is interesting. Like when you get super rich, super famous, super fast, you don't know how to do it.
Yeah.
Like there's usually like a build to it, you know? Or like I've failed so many times that like with this one I'm gonna make it count, so I'm gonna do this, and the other. When you're just like, oh, I don't know, all of a sudden I'm rich. Like I don't need to try hard or whatever. It just you go about it a whole different way. It's weird.
And also just like everything, becomes more volatile. Where, like, if you make a decision after being famous for 10 years, you made a bad decision. Whereas if you make a decision in the first 2 weeks of being famous, then you're like, it's like, oh, that's who he is.
Yep.
That happens a lot. Not a lot, but it's happened with people for 10 years in where they became a completely different person. But usually it's like, yeah, that was dumb. I shouldn't have said that.
Right.
Or like,
right. You just
like,
gotta throw it.
Or like, oh, wait, I didn't know enough. I don't actually think that. And,
Right.
like, it's easier to get your persona radicalized
early on.
Yeah. And you're like, now I'm just kind of floating.
Right.
And
doing
different things. It's been fun watching Tommy Smokes get radicalized. That was a good time.
Oh, man.
Dude, that was
Tommy.
He threw it out as a joke, and then we went to dinner the day before we went to Louisiana. And like he was just like talking like that at dinner. I was like, "This happened fast, man."
He's good at it. He's
like,
very good at
nasty woman. And I was like, "Dude, we're at dinner.
Stop." I mean, he went all in on that. When he said something like, you know, the election ends this week, but like Tommy Trump may be here forever. That was he's good at it. I got to give it to him. He's very good at it. But yeah, congrats to Kelly Keegs, who is the official president of Barstool New York. Don't know what that means, but hey, she won. And then she won the lottery. So you got to wonder. Yeah. I said, you know, Klepto Kelly stole the money, stole the election, and she stole the lottery as well. So she's $550 richer. Did you pay your taxes on that, Kelly? I bet you did it. Corporate Kelly.
Dude, I just saw Ebony on the screen, walking by Ebony to get here right now. She just goes, I forget her exact quote. I think it was, how dare you walk by a bad bitch and not recognize? The best. Something along those lines.
All right, voicemails. Let's do them.
Voicemails are brought to you. They are brought to you by the pirate water. Attention, all partiers and ragers. We have created the perfect drink for you. KFC Radio, Dana Beers, Brianna, Chicken Fry. I don't know. Grace O'Malley. Shout out everybody. Introducing Pirate Water from the creators of Four Loko and Mamitas. It is a 16-ounce can, ready to drink, malt beverage, 10% alcohol. All you need for a good time. We have to soak up every little bit of summer we have left. It is August something as I tell you this. I'm going to guess 20th? 21. August 21st right now. We got 1 week, 2 week, 3 weeks left. I'm not exactly positive. Whatever it is, get it now. Pirate Water, it comes in margarita, Sex on the Beach, Bahama Mama, and Miami Vice. It is absolutely delicious. There are countless examples of that. Celebrities sitting down on the couch, having a sip and going, whoa, that is quite delightful. If you haven't tried it, try it right now. I promise you enjoy it. You can try it by going to drinkpiratewater.com to find it at a location nearest you, or you can order it on GoPuff. Follow and tag at Pirate Water in your post for a chance to be reposted. As we said, call into the show. We're about to do our voicemails right now, but call in. Voicemail of the week every week gets a Pirate Water pack of merch and Pirate Water. Call in. Again, drinkpiratewater.com to find it.
KFC, for your haunted house, let's get some trail cameras set up. Let's get some pictures and videos. There's one I put up in my yard because my dogs decided they weren't going to go to the bathroom anymore. out in the yard. Turns out we got foxes running around everywhere. Who knew? Yeah, set those up, motion activated.
yeah.
We'll get some pictures, get some videos, see what's
So here's
going
the
on.
thing.
And question for Feits, is he just done puking? He hasn't puked lately on Lowering the Bar or on the podcast. Is he just done with that?
I haven't been on Lowering the Bar in like a year.
Yeah.
I that's not my decision. I told them whenever they want me on. I did the Lowering the Bar offshoot, which I don't know if it's done anymore. Truth or Puke.
Yeah.
I did that. I puked on that. Which that wasn't too long ago. That was probably a month or 2 months ago. So that is the case. But I'd go on Lowering the Bar and puke.
Whenever you want me to.
I'll
Puke tomorrow if you want me to.
Yeah, I'm chicken's out. What do you want me to do? I'll do it.
I'm gonna get cameras. There's a few spots I'm gonna put them.
Also, I'm on medication. I'm fixing a syndrome I had that caused ulcers, and there's a really fucking my stomach lining.
That might be it.
I don't know if that was from puking or caused the
Chicken or the
puking,
egg.
but maybe that is a
Chicken Caesar salad or the egg.
Yeah. I honestly haven't thought about it. It could be that. It could be old H. pylori's going away, but
Not puking.
not puking. But here's the deal. I am nauseous, so it's just like I haven't been pushed there. Like
I can puke for you right now.
If
If I just let it happen, I'll puke right now.
I came close to puking the other day because I got. Oh, I don't think I told Jackie this. I got home from Louisiana, and my power was out. Turns out old John Henry hasn't paid his power bill in a year. So
A year?
yeah,
Bro, you haven't paid your taxes. You
Nope.
haven't paid your bills.
living off the grid, man.
Fucking Ted Kaczynski over here.
Dude, I get home and I'm like, oh, it's hot in here, and I went to turn on the light and I was like,
Nothing.
Oh boy.
Oh, boy.
And I checked my
A
fucking
year.
power box, whatever it is, and that was all on. So I was like, okay, the power's off. And then I was like looking. I didn't want to go talk to anybody in my building, and so I was like looking out and I was like, huh, lights are on all around here. So I called Con Ed, and yeah, $1,500. Which
That's
I guess is probably about a year. Maybe I don't know. Maybe I don't know how long. I have no. I assume it's a year. They didn't say how long.
No,
I just know it cost $1,500.
I mean, I guess you never ran air conditioning or heat, so maybe. It's probably just light bulbs, so maybe.
But
Knowing you.
the craziest thing was the guy answers the phone, and I guess I'll use his full government. He's like, "Hello, this is Mr. Backus," and I've never had. It's usually hi, it's Tom. Hi, it's
Yeah,
whoever.
mister. Who the fuck are you?
And it was Mr. Backus. And then at the end, he was very helpful. So I was like, I'm sorry, what was your name again? He's like, Mr. Backus. And I was like, oh, okay. But he had a little sass to it. So I think he's a gay man.
Yeah.
Who just, his first name is Mr. Backus. That was the vibe I got, which was interesting. But this is all to say that it must have gone out like the day before. And I had some meat that was in there. I was telling Jackie this in the car because she was like in the cab on the way back. She was like, I have 4-day-old chicken. Can I eat it? And I was like, I'm the wrong person to ask because, yeah. But I said, just smell it. And I got home and I had some questionable food. And I took a deep inhale of chicken. I did some gagging.
Gross.
It did not end up being consumed.
As far as the
haunted house.
the haunted house,
You feel like Jerry's kind of stealing your thunder?
he can. Well, he can go ahead and steal it if you like. I would love him to steal it. Like, I wish. There was another incident where like someone in the house was telling me that they were like there was like steps upstairs, like, and it was kind of like, oh, that was pretty like weird. Like, I don't know, whatever. Must have been like the house, and like it happened again. It's like, fuck. I hate this shit. Because here's the thing: when you get the cameras and stuff, then what? So now I wake up in the middle of the night and I'm like, oh, yep, there's someone climbing out of the attic. He lives there. Like, then fucking what? You know? It's like,
Speaking of chicken and the egg, do you think this is a believability? Do you think this is a chicken and egg thing? Where, because of the steps thing reminded me, you've been in a house before that has had steps. So do you think you are more of a believer because you have heard things. Like
Yeah.
I've never been like there's a ghost here.
Yeah.
And I don't necessarily
I'm a little
believe in
predisposed
them.
to it. You mean?
I don't not believe in
Yeah.
it, but like it's never. I'm not like there's no way ghosts are real. I'm just
Right.
like I don't know. I've never. Maybe not. But I've never been in a house where I was like, it's haunted. Where now you have
Maybe.
too.
Yeah. I mean, it was funny. I was talking to my brother because I was like, I called him. I was like,
But the steps or something. If it's recurring, maybe the ghost is following you.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. I called my brother and I was like, some weird shit's happening in my house and I don't know what to do about it. And I tell him all the things and we're talking on and on about it. And I was kind of like, because, like there's that movie where there's the people who like live inside the walls. Like, so I'm thinking like it could be a person. And he was like, the whole time he was like, well, yeah, that's what I thought we were talking about. It's a person. What do you think it is? And I was like, oh, yeah, totally. I thought it was a person. We were on the same page the whole time. Like the logical one was like, we're not talking about ghosts. We're talking about something that might actually be dangerous for you, you fucking moron. And I was like, yeah, no, totally. Totally, that's what I meant too. I totally meant that too. But I'm gonna get the cameras, and I think they should have delivered on Friday, so maybe they're delivering today. And we'll set it up, and then what? We just find out that it's true. There's someone making coffee in my house.
I've actually, for someone who is whatever on ghosts, I've been in a position to be haunted almost my entire life.
The fuck does that mean? What does that phrase mean?
Every single home that's ever been the Feitelberg family home was either on or right next door to a funeral of a cemetery.
How many houses are we talking?
So starting with the house my mom grew up in, right across the street, cemetery. The house I grew up in, cemetery, like a block away. Our house on the vineyard when we had that, like literally, like. The cemetery, like here's where the front porch is.
Yeah.
Pavs is a tombstone, and then the home they live in now, bodies were moved to build the house. Not by us.
I'm the one.
Not by us. Like
Yeah, but
decades
still.
and centuries ago or whatever. So like they're actually at the top of the street now. Is the cemetery, like the house in Westport at the top of that street. There are
right,
graves.
and they didn't really dig those people up. They left them there.
Yeah.
The headstone. Yeah, we moved all the bodies, sure.
Those were moved to build the house that they live in now. So, and I've still never been like, oh, there's maybe a ghost. And I've pissed off a lot if they're there.
Oh my god. Yeah, we'll see. I'll keep you guys updated. Next up.
Hey, what's up, KFC Radio? So I was listening to Barstool Radio today, and here in Portnoy talk about how the business is with, the sales team and the content guys. Had me thinking that you guys are a lot like the show Mad Men. So you have to deal with a lot of brands and sponsorships, and that's cool. Love the stuff you guys rep. Pirate Water's awesome. But Portnoy's a lot like Roger Sterling. Handles all the business aspect of everything. Handles some of the creative stuff. Makes all the big deals. Clancy's a lot like Draper because he's head of sort of like the creative team. Pushes a lot of the content. With him is Feitelberg, Peggy Olson. Pretty much equal talent. Then you sort of have like Tommy Smokes, who's like Harry Crane, tries hard, but just doesn't ever seem like he's gonna just get up top yet. And I think Big Cat might be Bert Cooper. So, what do you guys think?
You're Peggy?
I haven't seen the show. That makes sense that I'm the woman. It's a comment? Yeah. Okay.
I mean, I will for sure take Don Draper. I have not seen the whole show either. I've only seen episodes here and there, but I will take Don Draper for sure. I don't think that's probably a good analogy. We're probably more like telemarketers. That's probably
I am
the better
one right now.
that is.
I disagree strongly about Tommy.
Dude, Tommy is one of the funniest people at Barstool Sports. Has been for a while.
I've always thought that, and I've always thought he's funny and blah, 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 talented and all that stuff. Today, actually, with Francesa, I was like, oh, he's a great interviewer.
Yeah.
He had, 2 or 3 questions to Francesa where he, he can do it.
He was doing a bit while also.
I can't do an interview and kind of, be me.
Yes.
I kind of just ask questions.
Totally.
Tommy can do Tommy's good at doing a bit.
Well,
and be like asking a good question.
Doing like your asshole Tommy bit in front of Francesa takes balls. You know what I mean?
And he did it very well, and Francesa liked it. Like,
yeah.
I can't. When I do an interview, you may have noticed if you listen to the show. I don't think I'm very good at it. I kind of just have a conversation. Tommy is good. He asked a good question and got a joke in and got the answer.
Yeah.
I was
good.
very
That was
impressed
impressive.
with that.
I find it. I like having conversations better than interviews. I don't really like question answer because I just don't think that the world needs more of that. I think the world needs more of like, what is it like when you're just talking and people are like jumping in and out, and conversation changes and all that sort of shit. But yeah, no, he's very talented at a lot of this stuff. I think he started as alarmingly stupid, and I think there's something that happens here where I don't want to sound like cool, like you're cool or you're not cool, because that makes it sound like douchey. But I think you kind of come into your own. Like Tommy came here and he was definitely like this like awkward, nerdy, like I don't really know what's going on, like what to do.
Yeah.
And now he's like supremely confident. You know?
Yeah.
And I don't know why that's just like you get older or Tommy started having sex with girls, whatever it is that makes you be like, oh no, wait a minute,
of age,
of women started having sex with women.
That was for Nick.
The Nick, yeah.
We're not talking about children, right? What? No,
nobody was. But once you've been at Barstool, and like I don't know, I feel like you just started to like dress a little different, and like you kind of grow into your skin a little bit. It's like, oh, you're not like the alarmingly stupid weirdo anymore. You're like, you're doing your thing. So I've seen it happen a couple times here now, and he's one of them. But I don't know what show we are. Really, if you watch the Telemarketers, I was like, the only thing crazier than this is stool scenes. Like this is.
It's probably Always Sunny.
Yeah, it probably is. Next, final voicemail.
Evil idiots.
What up, KFC? What up, Feitelberg? Love the show. Glad Barstool Radio is back on the fucking air. Loving it. Watching it every day. Fun fact, Three Musketeers were originally called that because it came with 3 flavors, strawberry, vanilla, chocolate. For some reason, they don't do it anymore. Sounds awesome. But would you rather only eat sweet food for the rest of your life or savory food? And don't forget, get pegged.
Yeah, my man, Pirate Water, get pegged. I did know that. I found that out recently about the Three Musketeers. Yeah. Probably because like a strawberry Three Musketeers sounds like it sucks.
Yeah, neither of them.
But
sound
a
like
vanilla, I think, could work. A vanilla is basically close to like a.
Oh wait, is the bar pink and white, or is it?
I was thinking the filling.
Yeah, I was thinking the filling too, but I just want to make sure.
Because white is almost like a Charleston Chew, like a softer Charleston Chew. Charleston Chew is a awesome candy bar. I don't know why they decided to make it so goddamn hard, but they did.
Oh, Charleston Chew is the best frozen. Goddamn.
Yeah. But when they're not frozen, you pull it apart and it flakes apart. And then you're just
yeah.
Like, why did someone put glue in this? What are we doing? But I could see the vanilla one being right, but strawberry, no, thank you. 91 years old, Jesus Christ.
The I gotta take sweet, but it is.
Oh, sweet or savory.
It's very tough.
I have to take sweet. I'm literally addicted to sweets. Like I have like an addiction. Like at night, I'm like in the daytime, I'm like, don't eat like an asshole tonight. Like be an adult. Like don't eat like fucking donuts and coffee and cookies. Like be an adult. Just don't do it. And the nighttime rolls around, and I'm like, I gotta do it. It's crazy.
Mine last night in particular. I like don't.
By
really
the way,
eat
what
every
does
day.
savory mean?
Like
steak?
salty.
Salt. Okay.
Like but the
Yeah, definitely sweet.
100% sweet. But like with food, I like savory.
Okay, what that's what I mean. What,
like I don't know what's a sweet food, not snack. Like what's a sweet like
sweet like a
what
fruit?
Like when at night
I would
all
think
do
like
is-
Italian food is like sweet versus.
I think the biggest difference is sweet potato fries versus just regular fries.
Okay.
I'm always going regular fries.
I go sweet
a
potato
lot.
sometimes.
Yeah, I actually go none a lot, but I do both at the same time. I get
That's good.
like last night I get a bag of mangoes and I get a bunch of dark chocolate caramels and I just eat them both. I smoked weed last night too. And
you must be out of control when you're high.
I just ate until I
couldn't
passed out.
Yeah.
Like and it was like 11:15, but it was just like
That's one of the main reasons I don't
pizza,
smoke. 'Cause
snacks,
I cannot stop.
It's crazy.
Like I'll have whole meals. It's crazy. Food is like, I wouldn't say I like sweet like food. I don't know what we're talking about here, but like.
Yeah, I don't know sweet food. Sweet food, I can just think of dessert.
Yeah, desserts.
So I guess in that case, I have to go savory, because
if it was food over desserts, I would take the desserts.
Really?
Yeah. But like if I could somehow survive, I would eat the food. I would eat like I could eat. The only thing that makes me eat real food is social constructs, where I'm like, I can't eat this right now. Like if I could just have ice cream for dinner and donuts for lunch, and I mean, breakfast basically is like just a dessert food for me. I'm like, oh, a whole crumb cake for breakfast. It's a breakfast. I would just do that all the time, all the fucking time. I can't be stopped.
Him bringing up Barstool Radio reminded me of a topic that I was going to bring up on Barstool Radio that we didn't do. Maybe I'll bring it up tomorrow because it is more Barstool Radio-y than it is KFC Radio-y. But it happened on the trip when we were when the boat trip started. Mincy was like, before we do anything, I just gotta say, I gotta call out Feitelberg for taking a shot at me on KFC Radio when on my way out, and I was like, yeah, because I didn't want to ruin the day.
Yeah,
that's a crazy move, right? Like,
I was
like, do you want to have the conversation? In my head, I was like, do you want to have the conversation?
In the moment, that's a weird. Like, if you feel like you need to speak up, fine. I would not do it like at the beginning of a day of content where we're gonna be together for the next 8 hours.
So we're gonna be on the boat the whole time. Like, do you want that's not a conversation I want to have. I said
let's do this for radio.
Okay,
this is good for radio.
We'll save it for radio.
Yeah, that's good for radio. All right. Make sure you call in for more voicemails. Winner, best voicemail, gets a Pirate Water merch pack. And we'll see you guys on Thursday for another episode. Somebody asked me, like, are Monday episodes done? Yes, officially those are done. I thought we talked about that, but in case you missed it, Barstool Radio is taking the place of that third episode of KFC Radio. So we are back to just Tuesday, Thursday. There is now a podcast feed for Barstool Radio. Every single episode will be uploaded to the audio feed. You can also catch a replay on YouTube, on the Barstool Sports YouTube. And then Fridays will be a best of both video and audio. So get all your KFC Radio and all your Barstool Radio. Subscribe to the audio feeds. Subscribe to the video feeds. Get your Pirate Water. Get pegged. See you on Thursday.
I'm having the guys come in here.
Okay. I'm going to piss myself. Well, I'm going to piss in the toilet.
Be right back.
I just stepped out the door.
All right, big thanks for watching. If you made it through this whole episode, that means you should be subscribed. There's so many of you out there who watch and don't subscribe, so make sure you are a KFC Radio subscriber. Make sure you get all the content when it drops. Click that button now.
I have 9 fingers. I'm still subscribed. It's that easy.